City. If you live in New York, I want to see your beautiful face. Okay, come out to Hack City Comedy. That's our live stand-up comedy show. It's every month. The next one is May 13th. Doors at 7, shows at 7:30. It's at Union Hall in Brooklyn. If you want to get a ticket, just check out the episode description. There'll be a link there. Or Google Hack City Comedy. Come out. I'm there. It's a great time. Hey, come on. Why not? If one of us bumped our heads, like me and my sisters, bumped our heads on the ground.
Yeah.
Or on something, we'd have a big welt.
Yeah.
My mom would heat up a knife, not hot, but really warm.
Yeah.
And then she would place the knife on the bump.
What?
Yeah. I think what's happening is she's trying to she's heating it up so she can kind of address the swelling.
Oh.
But the fact of her heating the knife up on the stove in my mind was like, she's going to cut us, or something.
Totally. It's like a threat.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody, to the Asian Not Asian podcast, the podcast where two Asian people, not from Asia, talk about American issues no Americans care about. A little bit of a different vibe because welcome to Season 2. This is Season 2 of the Asian Not Asian podcast. I'm your host, Mike Nguyen, and I'm joined with our new host,
Jenny Arimoto.
There we go. Hey! It's going to be
exciting.
It's exciting. We've been hanging out here. We're in the studio / office / baby room that I have set up here, and it's fun. This is the first episode of Season 2. It's going to be a little loosey goosey.
Yeah. Because
we're just trying to put it together, man. Okay. Everything fell apart. Not really, but it kind of metamorphosized. And now we're coming out of our cocoon. Okay, we took a few weeks off. I hope you've been enjoying some of our throwback episodes. This is the first episode of Season 2, and now we're gonna try to put it all back together again, but hopefully in a better way, not the same, right?
In a different way.
A different way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think so just hang tight. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna go through some things are gonna be the same, some things are gonna be different. Mm-hmm. We're still going to have a couple of fun Asian-y bits, but we're also going to have just more feminine energy.
Yeah, naturally.
Did I just completely lose you there?
No.
Okay.
I think that's so true.
Okay,
when
good.
I was listening to you and Fumi, I was like, my energy is very different. So I hope people are okay with that.
I think people can't wait for it. Honestly. Okay. I mean, we call our fans anals, that you cannot get less feminine energy than that. I
know. When I found that out, I was like,
it's very
different energy than me.
I don't know if most of you guys were listening to it, but Jenny is giving me a very mom face right now. Mm-hmm. Did you think of that yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never even said that word out loud, Mike.
Yes. Well, just to catch people up, Season 1 was a podcast with Fumi Abe and myself. And our slug line was two Asians, not from Asia, talk about American issues no Americans care about. It was fun. It was pithy. We started this a long time ago. So it was like 2000 and 4 years ago. So however long that was. And it was a very different time. This was like pre-Crazy Rich Asians. Mm-hmm. This was pre... Minari,
yeah,
all that other, like pre BTS. I think. I mean, as far as
like global fame,
yeah. BTS,
yeah.
Right? I think I remember we had an episode where we were talking about BTS, and we were sort of like, oh, they'll never really break through because they're too different. And now, of course, they're like the biggest thing in the world, and,
right?
And their difference is really what's all about. Anyways, this is not a BTS podcast.
Though I wish it was.
I wish it was. That's what we're gonna do. So Season 1, that was a different time. And we had over 200 episodes, and I think it was a big journey for Fumi. I remember he was sort of interested in this question about what does it mean to be Asian American. He's from Japan, but he grew up in Ohio, went to school at NYU, all that stuff. I'm born and raised in America, by way of California, Texas, live in New York now. I'm very Asian American. Went to Berkeley and all that shit. And the journey that we went on, I think, mirrored what Asian America went on. You know, we were kind of like figuring out like where do we fit in, what are the questions we need to ask, what are the answers we need. I think for Fumi, he got what he needed, which I think is fair. You know, he learned a lot. He didn't know what like street racing was. You know, and now he knows.
Yeah.
Okay, now he has a car. He lives in LA. He probably street races all the time.
Yes.
God bless him. So he went off and he did his own thing. He'll be back. You know, it's all good. It's all love. But that really leads us to season 2. So I'm still here. I'm very nervous about that. This, you know, I'm the vestigial limb of this podcast.
Yes.
But I'm very excited to have Jenny here. I think the big thing with season 2, and who knows how long season 2 will last. It could be 1,000 episodes. It could be 1.
Yeah.
we
might have a huge fallout today.
We might. I actually was saving that for minute 30.
Yeah.
For us to have a huge fallout.
Yeah. I said it. Yeah. I can't fight that well, but I'll fight if I have to for the content.
Yeah. So season 2, you know, I think I'm open to a new slug line. You know, again, it used to be two Asian people not from Asia. You're not from Asia.
I'm not.
Where were you born?
I'm also from California.
Fuck, dude.
We're kind of similar.
We're very similar. God damn it. Cut the whole thing.
I know.
No, it'll be a lot of fun. I think I think we can already tell that it's a different vibe.
Oh, for sure.
It's a different fucking vibe.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm just a little bit more not calm. That sounds bad, but like when I listen, yeah, the energy is very different.
It is.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be a lot of fun. Can I ask real quick, did you listen to us before you met us? You don't have to.
I did not.
Okay. That's cool.
But I did start listening once we met.
Okay. Perfect.
And I definitely listened to the full Goodbye Saga.
Okay, the Goodbye Saga is really
Yes.
good. Yeah, so I'm open to what the new slug line will be. It doesn't have to be two Asian people not from Asia talking about issues no Americans care about. I think that's still a pretty good one.
Yeah.
But I will say that sort of the 3 pillars of what I want this to be, and whenever people kind of ask what the show's about, it's about being Asian.
Yeah.
Kind of like unapologetically Asian. I'm all
Totally.
about that. I'm Asian American.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. I'm not.
Yes.
I'm not talking about Asian for people from Asia. Shouts to them. Great. They got their thing.
Yeah.
They have a whole bunch of land over there. They got it.
Yes.
Dope. Super excited. They're our homies. We're gonna have Asian people on our show. It sounds hilarious to say that. I'm talking about Asian Americans.
Yes.
I guess Asian Western people. Canada, tight. Any of our Asian Mexican brothers. Hola. Great. Okay. Like second, people who've come from not their homeland and now they're trying to figure it out, because that is the question I'm interested in. Like that very Asian American experience, whether it's like street racing or not, or listen to Vampire Weekend, as you say.
That's me.
You love Vampire Weekend.
I do. I love Vampire
If you love Vampire Weekend, you're gonna love this podcast. That's the first thing. Second thing, being funny. We have to be funny. I'm a comedian. I do stand up. I'm kind of a writer. Jenny.
And I am not a stand-up comedian, but I did improv back when that was a thing, and I'm a writer, sketch writer, and then I do that stuff on the internet now.
Yeah, which we'll talk about.
Yes,
we're gonna talk about that. That's like kind of like another separate pillar is by being on the internet.
Being on the internet, yeah.
Being on the internet is like a weird one. And then I guess that's the third big pillar is just our lives. Okay, it's just like our. I want to talk about what browser tabs I have open.
Yeah.
Okay. Not only the private ones, the incognito private tabs, but the regular tabs I've got open. All right. I want to talk about how much coffee I drink every single day.
Yeah.
Which is a lot.
How much?
Actually, not that much. I probably have like 3 cups a day.
That's a lot.
Is it?
I think so. I cap out at 1.
Oh, okay.
I can't sleep if I have 2.
I can. Yeah. It's like 2.5.
Okay.
It depends. I have a kid now, so like now I'm like, okay, it's all good. I'll have coffee at 6. I don't give a shit.
Sure, but that happened a couple weeks ago.
Hey, this is my identity. All right, this is who I am. But yeah, it's gonna be about our lives, and I think that's gonna be tight because I think this is really weird to say, but I feel I need to say it because this is what it's like to be an Asian American. But our lives are fucking interesting.
Yeah.
Without any of the samurai swords. Okay.
Yes.
People mainly. Yeah.
I think that's the thing. I think like I've struggled with my identity as well, which we can get into more in detail. But I think that being Asian American, before it was like you really had to lean into like the Asian stuff.
Yeah.
And you just kind of realize we're just humans.
We're just people.
Like
Yeah.
we're all different and we all do different things. Some of us listen to Vampire Weekend and Haim and a bunch of white indie bands, and that's, you know, who we are. And then other people watch, you know, like other things. Like we all live different lives, different experiences. So
Yes, that's exactly my point. Yeah, but we are open. If you're listening to the podcast, you know what? Hit 5 stars on the app, on the podcast app. Leave us a review. Tell us what our slug line should be. You can leave a little review. We have almost 1,000 ratings. So hit 5 stars. So get us over 1,000, which would be great. Leave a review. If you're on Spotify, you can hit follow, and you can also rate us, I believe. If you're on YouTube, I think this is going to go out on YouTube. You can hit subscribe. Comment what you think our slug line should be. Did you just wave at the camera?
I did. I just want to
adorable.
give viewers an experience that audio people don't get.
That's just for you guys,
Yeah.
YouTube. Yeah, you can hit subscribe, hit like, do all the good stuff. Tell all your friends, screenshot us, and tag us at Asian Not Asian Pod, because that is the biggest thing. We now have 15,000 Instagram followers, which is not a lot, I think, but actually a lot for us. So
I think that's a lot.
I think that's a lot.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people fuck
That's
with us.
exciting.
Yeah, I think I'm open. I want to hear what y'all have to say. But we're going to get into it. And welcome to season 2. Jenny, are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Jenny, I want to start this off with what kind of Asian were you this week?
Okay. Jenny was. I'm going to do it in third person.
Yeah, everything has to be in third
hate
person.
me already.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this week I was a I wouldn't say a roller coaster tycoon Asian.
What? Like,
I was
is that the video game?
Yeah, the video game Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Oh shit.
And then I didn't play it at all. And what I really was trying to get at is that I was real up and down. I love Roller Coaster Tycoon though. I could talk about it forever. In 2020, I really played the shit out of Roller Coaster Tycoon.
You played the game Roller Coaster Tycoon in 2020.
Yes.
How?
Through my computer and the internet.
Oh, it's on it's just like through the browser.
Like through Steam. I don't know. My
Steam.
younger sister
Okay.
my younger sister's like bought it and she was like, "Do you want to play it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I love Roller Coaster Tycoon and like The Sims." Anyways, kind of unrelated.
Right.
I don't know. Like this week was really up and down, which is generally my life. But I think I quit my tech job last year.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out my life post tech.
Right.
And so there are really some times where I'm like, whoa, that was a huge mistake. And then there's some times where I was like, no, I want to do comedy.
Yes.
And this is the right thing. And
Yeah.
so it was a lot of that this week. But there were like, I got a lot of little opportunities and nothing has become to fruition, but even just having opportunities gives me hope. And like had my first ever general meeting. But I won't,
nice.
It was like, I don't know if I did a good job, but I'm like, okay, trying to remind myself like practice makes perfect. So there's little things like that. But then also because nothing comes to fruition yet.
Yeah.
It's like when you're still in the early stages, like interviewing, you're like, maybe something will happen. But then when you get the decision and it's not good, you could really fall. So I'm just like still like kind of floating where I'm like, okay, I'm getting opportunities, but nothing. I'm not staffed on a TV show or whatever, or I'm not making $1 million, which is why I do comedy.
That's why we all do comedy. Isn't it exciting though? What I used to love doing when I was like a freelancer was once I went, there was a lot of days where I wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
But there would be days where I had like an interview or whatever. I would go in to talk about a project. And I remember those were the best days because they hadn't told you no yet.
Yes.
And you felt like you did work.
Yes.
And the rest of the day, I would just like bum off.
Yeah.
I would just be like, okay, I worked.
That
you
was
know?
literally me. Like because I'm like doing some freelance stuff or like possibly some freelance
Yes.
stuff. So like send an email being here are my rates.
Yes.
And then I'm like, woo, all right. I worked a whole day.
Boss girl.
Yeah. They haven't said yes. I haven't signed anything.
They haven't said no.
Sure haven't gotten paid.
Boom.
But they haven't said no.
They haven't said no. That theoretical money is the best money.
Yeah, exactly.
The money that you potentially could have, you're a billionaire.
Yeah, I'm like, I guess I should treat myself because I possibly could have money in a month.
That's the best money to spend is the money that you didn't get yet, but you might get, and then you worry about it later.
Exactly.
That's great. I fucking love it.
So real up and down. So every 30 minutes I'm in a different place. But that was my week.
I'm so excited. I know you're going to do great because everyone who is on this podcast does great.
Succeeds.
I will tell you that.
Yeah.
For reals. Everyone we've had, I guess they were successful before. Minjin Lee. Okay. I don't know if you know. She's won a bunch of prizes.
I know.
All right. Fumi was on here. Now staffed on all sorts of shows.
Right.
Great comedian. That's what I'm here. I'm an incubator.
Yeah, you're an incubator.
I would say 6 to 8 weeks. That check's gonna come in. You're gonna be like, oh fuck this fucking podcast.
I'm out.
You're out of here.
Yeah,
I'd like that.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, and what kind of Asian were you this week, Mike?
I like your style. I was a dad Asian. That's my jam. That's
I
my
want to hear all about it.
I got so much to talk about. That's pretty much all of season 2 is going to be just me talking about being a dad. But yeah, let me just very quickly. My son was born last Sunday, so today is April 9th. So he was born March 27th, and
that makes him an Aries.
Oh, good. I'm glad someone is here to tell me because no one at the hospital could tell me.
I think it's the one before Aries. Okay, I'll have to circle back. I like know astrology 20%. And I really try to dive in right now, and I fully failed.
What kind of Vampire Weekend fan are you?
I know, so lame.
I will say that I know he's a tiger.
Okay.
You're the tiger.
Yeah,
so we have a lot of tiger stuff. We have tiger print sheets over there. We have we got some tiger books. I'm gonna try to get a tiger tattoo. Mm-hmm. Just I like tigers.
Yeah.
I think it'll be cool. I know he's Year of the Tiger. He was born on Sunday. We had a scheduled C-section. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I've learned a lot about this, and you know, I've talked about how the things that women have gone through to just do this function, it is enough to make me think, oh, you know, they're tougher than any Navy SEAL or whatever. You know what I'm saying? The shit that any woman who has given birth or has had a kid is just insane. So we had a scheduled C-section. So it's just so weird because when you schedule it, and the reason why we scheduled is because my baby was transverse, which means he was side to side. And for people who don't know, he needs to be head down. It's, you know, it could be a real problem. This is like back in the day. Yeah. Like if he's transverse or his feet down, that could be a very big problem. But you know, hey, it's 2022, so we scheduled this thing, and it's very strange because you know now when the baby is coming.
That's so true.
So like that whole time, we're like the week of, we're like, we didn't, I mean, you know, my wife was very, very pregnant, so we couldn't like go out on the town, but like we went out and we're like, oh, this is like the last time we're going to do this as like a couple.
That is so wild.
Yeah. Went to like a night, you know, nice dinner. We like walked around, like went to a museum, did all these different things. And because on Sunday we knew that we would have a baby, which is like, it's like a crazy mind fuck.
It's like a delivery, like package delivery countdown.
Yes. It is like, we were packing our bag. It was like we're gonna go on vacation, but we're gonna come back with a whole net new person,
right?
Which was so fucking crazy.
How early do you know this date?
The scheduled C-section.
Yeah,
we scheduled it maybe like 3 weeks or 2 weeks before. Yeah, 3 weeks before.
Okay, so 2 weeks. It really is a countdown. You're like, all right, 14 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it took some of the load off of like worrying about when this is going to happen. Then labor is like a whole thing. But you know, I was excited about it, obviously. And so we go in there on Sunday morning, and we get there a little early. We like check in, and you go into the delivery floor, like a delivery floor, and there's a recovery room, and then there's like the operating room, and we're sitting in the recovery room, and we had excellent nurses. We did it at Mount Sinai, excellent, amazing nurses, incredible nurses who were just like walking us through everything. You know, they're saying like they're going to you do like a spinal thing so that, you know, they numb the woman from the chest down, and that's another thing is that she's awake during this thing. She's awake, and it, you know, again, great doctors, great nurses who like walked us through the whole process. They they have us like all ready. They take her first. Because they have to go to the OR and get her ready with the anesthesiologist.
Right.
So there's like 20 minutes where I'm just like sitting in this room, this recovery room, just by myself.
Oh God.
And I'm just like praying like a lot. I'm
Yeah.
praying a whole bunch. I know we have excellent doctors, but there's just so much about it where it's out of your hands.
Yeah.
Which is like really it's very scary because
Of
like
course.
you have no control of it. It's like it's up to the doctor.
What are you doing for 20 minutes? Like scrolling through Twitter? Like what
No,
would you do?
I was just I did think about scrolling through Twitter. I was just like I need a distraction.
Right.
But no, I just like sat. I really did. I prayed a whole bunch.
Wow.
I went to the bathroom like a couple times. One of the nurse comes in and says, "Hey, we're gonna be ready in like 5 minutes." And she like sees in my face. She's like, "Do you want like a juice or something?" And I was like, "Yes, I would like." She's like, "Here about that apple." She comes back with an apple juice. Saved my life.
Yeah.
I was like panicking.
Yeah.
I had apple juice. I had water. Finally call you in there, and it's like craziness. There's like so many fucking people in this OR. It's like you ever see like a science fiction movie where there's like a bunch of people like in different parts of the room, like looking at computers going, okay, yes, concur. Yes, look at the geometry here, like it was like
Right.
that. All these different stations of different people like doing different things. My wife is on the table. They have this sheet up so that you can't,
Yeah.
she can't see down. Right?
Yeah.
They sit me down right next to her head, which is like awesome, but also just like you can see everything that she's going through, like
Yeah.
through her eyes right
Yeah.
there. She can't feel anything, but she can feel like pressure is like the way she describes it. The anesthesiologist is there and he's standing up and he can see over the sheet.
Uh-huh.
And so they're kind of like narrating it, and it's very fast.
Okay.
The most of the time is from getting her into the right state of anesthesiology or
Yeah.
whatever, right? The right level of numbing.
Right.
That's like most of it. It's like 20 minutes of doing that, 30
Yeah.
minutes of doing that. And then the actual delivery C-section part is like 15 minutes, 10 minutes.
Wow.
10 minutes, yeah. They're like, okay, we're going in, we're doing it. And they're like doing it. And there's just like a lot of commotion.
Yeah.
Like you can see, like I can look down, I can see people's feet. And like one of the delivery people, I don't know if it was a nurse or not, but it was like too short. So she had to stand on a stool. So she's like standing on a stool, like doing all this stuff. A
Yeah.
true pro. She's
I
like,
relate to that a lot.
yeah.
That's the only part of the story I relate to so far, standing on a stool.
I was like, I can't wait to tell Jenny about this stool. They're pushing, and they're just doing all this stuff, and like the anesthesiologist is like narrating the whole thing, right? He's like, okay, feet's out,
Yeah.
pulling the feet. Oh, his butt's out. We're like, okay, there you go. Okay. Oh, his hands are out, and he's like, oh, he's grabbing.
Uh-huh. Oh.
Oh my god! I was like, oh, gee, and like for a little bit, his head was stuck, and I was like, really need the head. That's a really important
Yeah.
part. And we're just like, oh, come on, but there's more commotion, and I was just trying to relax.
Yeah.
Finally comes out. We were supposed to see the baby. They were supposed to like raise the baby up for us to see it, but like there was like a miscommunication. It's totally fine.
Uh-huh.
Like so they just bring the baby around. There's a warmer. This big warmer. It looks like he's a hamburger. He's gonna be warmed under a heat lamp.
Mm-hmm.
There's this big warmer, and there's a team there. There's a pediatrician and like some nurses there. They bring him over. I'm just like staring at him, right? He isn't like talking. He isn't making any sounds, which is like, I'm like, okay, but everybody was like real calm. I tried to take solace in the fact that as he was being delivered, they were the pediatrician and the nurse were talking about each other's scrubs. They're like, hey, are these new fig scrubs you're talking? And I was like, oh my god, like there's a baby about to be born. Yeah. You're like, oh, I like those. I like that pocket there. Yeah.
But that's how professional they are.
Yes.
This is just another day.
Another day for them.
Which is wild.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I did feel like better. I was like, okay, they're just talking
Yeah.
about their pants.
Like nothing is an emergency.
Nothing. Yeah. So I felt a little better about that.
Yeah.
So they bring the baby. They bring him over, and he's like covered in all sorts of goo, and they're like rubbing him and stuff like that, and he finally starts crying.
Okay.
And it's just such a crazy experience because you're just like, there's a new person here.
Yes.
And like my wife is there, and like they kind of clean him up, but they, you're supposed to do skin to skin immediately,
Yeah.
like as soon as you can. They bring him over and they like put him on my wife. I'm taking like so many fucking pictures, like so many goddamn pictures, like weighing him. They're stamping his feet. He's crying.
Aww.
He is so cute already.
Yeah.
And we stay at the hospital for a couple of days because, she has to recover from fucking surgery,
Yes.
right? Major surgery. That was kind of the craziest part as far as like sleeping goes, because you're like in and out of it.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm in, what time is it? Doesn't kind of matter. It's up to the baby. Like people are coming in, people are leaving. We had one visitor, which was really nice. But you're just like looking at this baby and you're just like obsessed already.
Yeah.
And it's, the way I describe it is there's a part of your brain, which is like, this is a stranger. I don't know this person.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's like your rational forebrain, which is like saying like, this is like straight up a stranger.
Right.
I don't know who this is.
Yeah.
And at certain points you're like, I don't even recognize who this is because my baby looks very, very Asian. So I'm like, did I give birth to one of the Fung brothers? Is that what's going on here? It's like, he looks wild Asian. Yeah. It looks like, at times he looks like the Buddha. It's crazy. But then there's also the lizard part of me, which is like, I am in love with this thing. Of course, and I am obsessed. And it is really, that part is so, it's like, I can't say it's in your brain. It's like really goes down in through your like, through your juices in your spine. It's like deep in your, it's not even your brain. You know what I'm saying? It's like the same part of your body, which is like, don't touch fire. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's wired in there so deep that you can't pull it out. Yeah. It's nuts. But I started seeing little parts of myself right away. Yeah. That's the other thing is like, there's times where I'm like, he doesn't look like anything else. And there's other times where I'm like, this is a clone of me. I cloned myself somehow. He has my nipples. I saw his nipples, and I was like, those are my nipples.
You're like, genes are strong.
Genes are strong.
Because there's my nips.
Those are my nips, man. Yeah. And can I just say too, the other thing, which I will never forget, born on Sunday. I remember this because it's the same night that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. Okay, yes, that's what we're going to talk about. Oh my God. You didn't think we were going to talk about that, but we are.
I was wondering if we were going to talk about it. Wait, what a historic night.
I know.
A historic day
it's
to
be
alive.
Very historic. It was very funny.
So he was there for that.
He was there. I was trying to explain what was going on. Yeah. I was like, hey, Will Smith.
He's you're like actor. Putting the mic out to he's like, so what do you think? What's your take?
Yeah, what's your take? And he's like, it was very strange because like the whole time I was like, there's a new baby, but also I'm on Twitter and I'm reading these hot takes. You're like,
Twitter is blowing up, crazy. But does everyone know that I have a baby now?
It was so surreal because I remember, like the Oscars are on. It's like 10 o'clock, but I'm like, we hadn't slept. We actually did. I mean, it was the day of, so we were like kind of in and out of it. I was like very tired, so I remember I fell asleep for a little bit. My wife wakes me up. And she's like, Mike, did you see what happened? Did you see Will Smith slapped Chris Rock? And I watched it on Twitter. And everything was so surreal about that day. Yeah. Didn't even flinch. I was like, sure. Yeah. Yeah. Whatever.
Like, this is life.
This is just life.
Yeah. You were cut open earlier today. We have a baby now. Yeah. People are slapping each other. Twitter's on fire.
Twitter's on fire. It's all good. God is on his throne. So that's what kind of Asian I was, and yeah, it's been a whole thing. That's why we're recording right now in my house. We can't have visitors because he needs to get vaccinations and all sorts of stuff. So he's not here, but he's in the other part of the apartment. But yeah, that's like my jam right now, man.
Congratulations!
Thank you so much.
That's so exciting. As you were talking, I was like, this is what all parents must go through when they first have their baby. Like. This weird experience where weird. You're just like, what the heck? There's this other life. I don't know this person, but I'm like attached and I love this thing. Generally, I'm assuming parents have that. And then I was thinking like my parents going through that. And now I'm like, now I'm here doing a podcast. Like this, like they loved me so much and now I'm here doing comedy.
I was thinking.
What, like, could you imagine your little baby in a couple decades could be unemployed sitting on a couch doing a podcast.
One can dream. One can dream. Here's to you. I was thinking about it. And I was reading I'm ashamed to say that I started finally reading Crying in H Mart.
I haven't read it yet. I have it in my
it's outstanding.
In my place.
But it's also about that kind of like generational love.
Totally.
Like passing around and generational trauma as well. But it's I do think about that. And now, like, I think about how everyone was a baby once and their parents, I assume, love them to the heavens and back, right? And, they grow up to become for all these things to happen to them, whether good or bad. And I have a son now, and I don't know what's, one day maybe he'll go off, and I'm sure he'll break my heart one day. It's going to happen because I did that to my parents, right?
Of course.
So it just kind of like makes me think about, going up the chain, what my parents have done for me, or what I'm willing to do for my kid, and hopefully the love keeps going. I don't, I guess like you think about it, like I don't expect him to do this, to love me back. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, shit, I got to pay this up to my mom or something. So it changes your perspective as far as I'm just in a different point where I'm just like, this is like something I have to think about, and it's weird because I still do have the priorities as far as doing a podcast. Here I am fucking doing a podcast, right? But it's just like now I got to think about it in terms of what's good for him as well.
Totally. Your priorities internally in like life has shifted.
Exactly.
I think that makes sense.
Hopefully, still I got to be more strategic with shows I can do.
Yeah.
And when I'm out.
Right.
But I think if anything, I was telling Fumi about this. I do think that my son has made me already a better comedian. Not only because he's given me 5 more minutes of material, but because I now have to think about, like, I can't just do stuff for free. I have to think about, like, I got to do stuff for money because I got to pay for him for stuff.
Yeah.
He's got to get, like, all sorts of new Ralph Lauren onesies, which we've already bought.
Okay, yeah. I don't doubt that you don't have those.
Oh, I got it. The check hasn't even cleared. Yeah. The theoretical money has been spent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I think it's all good. It's gonna be good. That's what's kind of Asian I was.
That's so exciting.
Man, it's gonna be intense. But yeah, it's been an awesome ride so far. But like speaking of the other baby in my life, which is this podcast.
Yes.
Folks, it's Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and there are 2 things our people love. 1, exotic fruit. 2, science. That's right. Honor AA and HPI heritage, communities, and families today by getting vaccinated for a safer tomorrow. Vaccination greatly reduces your chance of having COVID symptoms like fatigue, pain, and memory problems that last for months. Protect your tomorrow with a vaccine today. Talk to a doctor if you have any questions. Find vaccines and boosters near you at vaccines.gov. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Whoa, what was that? Dang, that's
what
crazy.
Is that sound?
It's nice.
It's the sound of another sale on Shopify, the all-in-one commerce platform to start, run, and grow your business. Shopify gives entrepreneurs the resources once reserved for big business, so upstarts, startups, and established businesses alike can sell everywhere, synchronized online and in-person sales, and effortlessly stay informed.
Scaling your business is a journey of endless possibility. I love how Shopify has the tools and resources to make it easy for any business to succeed from down the street to around the globe. Like mine, Shopify powers over 1.7 million businesses, from first sale to full scale.
Reach customers online and across social networks with an ever-growing suite of channel integrations and apps, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and more.
Gain insights as you grow with detailed reporting of conversion rates, profit margins, and beyond.
More than a store, Shopify grows with you.
This is Possibility, powered by Shopify.
Go to shopify.com/Asian, all lowercase, for a free 14-day trial and get full access to Shopify's entire suite of features.
Grow your business with Shopify today. Go to shopify.com/Asian right now.
Shopify.com/Asian.
I'm excited to have you on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here.
I feel... let me just sort of like, how did we meet very quickly?
We met at, I think it was Asian.
Yes,
I think
at Asian
we met
prom.
before at Asian AF, but I don't think we spoke
yes, that's
because I feel like improvisers always are like sitting in a corner dicking around, and then all the stand-up comedians are like thinking through their set or like hanging out with each other.
Yes, I remember now.
So like I think we met pre-pandemic at Asian AF, but I was
this at Asian AF when it was at UCB, that big old theater on the west side?
Yeah, but improvisers would show up late because we're last and we have like 8 minutes. And like and it's all made up, so then we're like all in the back doing bits, sticking around and being like, what are you up to, like what'd you eat for dinner, like we're like whatever, and then all the stand-up comedians are like
just like
in a little circle and standing around. So I think we did meet then.
Yes,
because I remember you had a beanie that was really bright, like you were like dressed really cool, and I was like, wow. I'm dressed like shit. But when we really met was at one of the Asian proms.
That's right, we met at Asian prom, and then you were on the podcast a little while ago.
Yeah.
And then I remember then when I asked you to like, hey, you want to like help me host this thing, what'd you think?
At first I was like, oh, interesting me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a stand-up comedian, I always am like, oh, I don't know if my strength is talking.
What?
I know. Dylan Adler kind of said something similar this week, and he was like, no, you're funny. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's really nice.
Dylan's so nice.
Dylan is the nicest person in the world, so maybe he was just being nice. But I think like I got in my head a little bit, and I also was like, I have heard the podcast with you and Fumi, and I'm like, you guys are very different energy than me, and
Yes.
I was like, I think I might have said that. I was like, are you sure that my energy is okay for this podcast?
I have to go back and look at our messages, but yeah, that does sound like something you'd say.
I was like, are you sure this is okay? Like, will people want this? Like like me talking like this. I love talking about feelings and astrology.
Yes, there we go.
I think he is an Aries, I think.
Okay, cool.
Which is a fire sign, which is kind of my because I'm a Leo, very compatible.
Okay.
And so I don't know. I think that was my reaction to it was like, I don't know if I can fill the exact shoes that like Fumi
I see.
had.
Yeah. No.
Because I think Fumi and I are very different. Also have never met Fumi, but we've now mutually followed each other on
You
Instagram.
still haven't met him.
No. It's wild. But after I heard the episode where he was like, I've never met her.
Yeah.
Who is she? I was like, okay, I'm going to follow him on Instagram. You're going to know who I am, Fumi.
Yeah. I love it. So you've been, I guess, do you feel like a lot of anxiety about sort of having to, because I will say, first of all,
yeah.
Not that I would expect you to want to fill his shoes, but don't try to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know that. I don't know why I'm telling you that, but I think for me, there's a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
A, I think you're funny. Oh, B, you're very nice. Mm-hmm. I'm all about that. I hate mean people.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm a good person, but I think I'm very nice.
You're very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's very nice. Anyway, so you're nice. You're funny.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of free time.
I do have a lot of free time.
That's the three things I need.
I do have a lot of free time.
That's great.
Yeah.
Not soon. Not soon, because soon all those theoretical checks are going to come in.
Yeah.
And you're going to be out
booking.
of here.
Yeah. My other concern. Wait, I had another concern.
Yes.
I think I struggle with feeling Asian enough.
Aha.
So that has consistently been. I always discounted myself from like Asian comedy because I was like, I'm Asian, I do comedy, but I often don't do material that's about being Asian. Like if you look at my videos, like it's rarely about being Asian.
Yeah.
If anything, it's making fun of white people being stupid and white. And so
that's very Asian.
It is Asian, but it's like not particularly about me being Asian. And so I think that was my other. I think I might have brought that up. I was like, I don't know if I'm Asian enough sometimes, and you're like, that's okay. I was like, okay.
Yes. I guess that's the first, thing, just to get our fans to know who you are, and so they become your fans. Although, I mean, did you always feel like you weren't Asian enough? Like just in, growing up you were from the Bay.
Yeah, I'm from the Bay.
San Francisco Bay Area.
I'm from the Bay Area, but so I was like I'm Japanese. I grew up very, very quiet, like very shy. I think a lot of Asian people are like this. Surrounded by Asian and white people, basically.
Yeah.
And then I switched to a small private school. When I talk, I'm like, I know I come from economic privilege,
sure.
but I went to a private school and I was the only Asian girl. This is in middle school, and my first day, I walked into school and they said, "Hey, Jane." And I was like, "Oh, hi. I'm actually Jenny." I found out later there was a Japanese girl named Jane in the year below me.
Oh,
and they
fuck
had
off.
immediately thought I was her.
Wow.
I didn't know that for like the first, like I was just confused by everyone calling me Jane. And I was like, "Oh, I'm the one other Asian girl and our names start with J." That's like my first glimpse where I was like, "Oh,
fuck.
I got to figure out how to fit in here."
Yeah.
And so I think I always like whatever this means, play down my Asianness.
Yeah.
And really played up my humor to like fit in.
Yes.
And then in high school,
So you were always kind of a funny person?
I don't think I was. I always was like funny. My dad's very funny. My mom's also really funny too.
Okay, yeah.
I grew up watching like comedy and stuff because that's what my parents watched, but basically I didn't like rely on it until middle school.
Got it.
I was like, this is the way I'm gonna not be the Asian girl, is being the funny girl.
So were you not friends with this Jane person then? Were you
She was a year younger, so
so it was a little easier.
I was like,
distance.
kind of I'm your senpai. You show me respect. People should be calling you Jenny.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Yeah, okay, that's cool. I love that. So much of humor has like comes out of some sort of traumatic experience.
Always does, yeah.
You know?
And then basically like throughout my life, because of that formative experience, I think I've always like found that I should align myself with white people. This is all subconscious.
Yes.
I should align myself with white people because that gives me more social currency in wherever I am at.
Yeah.
Not that I'm slighting Asian people, because I'd be friends with Asian people too, but like out of fear of being seen as just like another Asian person, I would also make sure to have a lot of white friends.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
So that was my whole life until I had this whole awakening a mere
like
like
6 weeks
2
ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Seriously, like 6 weeks ago, where I was like, why am I doing this?
Whoa.
And that was years of therapy to get me there. But that's why I struggle with like the sense of like Asianness.
Right.
Is because I've always like struggled with that part, and like only recently have I been able to put words into like what it was, which is white supremacy, folks.
Oh shit, that's the key word of the day.
Complicitness, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Totally.
I feel that, and that's why you're perfect. I think this is great. This is gonna be great. Season 2 already is kicking ass.
Good.
Okay, this is what I want.
We're getting into it.
I don't even know that. I guess you're also like you're like a single person.
Yes.
Living in New York.
I mean, that's why I'm really doing the podcast.
What?
To find my soulmate. I look to the camera.
That's how hard it is to date.
Yeah, you have
New
to
York City.
Go onto a podcast that already exists with 15,000 followers on the Instagram to be like, hey, if anyone wants to be my soulmate, let me know.
Did you, because you lived in the Bay for a while after you graduated, did you date a lot out there?
Not a lot. I mean, therapy changed a lot of stuff in general, but I did date in the Bay Area. Let me just say, Bay Area dating, for those in the Bay Area, I feel you. It's horrible.
Really?
I think it's way better out here than over there.
Yeah, and it's pretty bad out here too.
Yeah, it's bad out here, especially for women. But I think it's even worse in San Francisco.
Is it because of all the Patagonia tech bros?
Yes. I mean, like, okay, everyone's always like, numbers wise, women do better in San Francisco.
Oh, because there's just way more dudes.
Yeah, because there's more dudes. But I'm like, the quality of dudes is bad.
Come on, he's got what? How so?
I found that every person I went on a date with that was like in San Francisco was like the same type of person. It's just like a person who is like really wants to like rise and grind and make a lot of money, and like they just want to be a product manager and build the next best thing. Like,
yeah.
Everyone, there was just like so few people with like a good sense of humor.
Yes.
And that's obviously so important to me. And I just really struggled out there. Like I went on so many, not so many, but I would go on some dates, and then it would always be like, God, why is there so many homeless people here? And I was like,
shit.
The lack of awareness as a man living in this city that you just moved to a couple months ago. Like, don't complain about that.
Wow.
Like, I'm from here, and it was like the problem's getting worse because of people like us.
Yeah, I feel it must be even harder because you're from that. You're from the Bay.
Yeah, I'm from the Bay, so I like watched it become that.
It's really heartbreaking.
It is
to see it.
It's also like I can never live there. It's so expensive.
I know. I can't live there either. I would have left a long time ago if I could. Like, I left New York City. This place is a stain on my soul.
Yeah.
But but I don't know have anywhere else to go.
I know.
This is the place for weirdos.
I know it is. But that's a nice thing. I'm here, and I'm like, at least there's people with senses of humor and like weird interests, and like
that's very true.
There's like different. Also, people work in different fields. I remember when I met someone who works in like finance in San Francisco. I was like, diversity. I was like,
God,
that's so exciting. Like, tell me everything about your life. I know. And I moved here, and I was like, people can just be like freelance artists here.
Yes.
I
met at a show. I was talking to a girl like doing crowd work, and I was like, "So what do you do?" And she's like, "I'm a clown." And that's nobody batted an eye.
Yeah.
Everyone around her was a communist or something.
Yeah.
Because this was Bushwick. So everyone was like, "Yeah, a clown. Yeah." And like everyone was like, "Yeah, clown. Just a clown." And that is very much the New York vibe.
Yeah, I mean, through the comedy scene, I've met people who are aspiring actors making money off being financial dominatrixes.
There are so many people like that.
And I'm like, go off. That's so cool. Live your life. That's diversity.
That is diversity. That is financial dominatrix.
Yeah, that's financial diversity, and also just like that person's gonna have a personality.
Yeah. One big anxiety, if I can talk about that, is, this whole podcast thing. Really, my whole comedy career has been: can I stand up on my own 2 feet? Mm-hmm. Right. I feel very dangerous because I believe in myself now. Mm-hmm. And that's a very dangerous thing, I think, for a person to have.
No, but you need to have that.
I do.
In this industry.
I do.
Yeah, like delusions of grandeur.
Is this how white people feel all the time?
I think that all
really?
The time. I'm like, those mediocre white people, the confidence that their Western parenting gave them is wild. It took me 30 years to be like, maybe I can make one TikTok and people will like it.
Yes. I never think like, oh, I can do this or ever.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, because I don't think it wasn't like my parents shit on me all the time.
Yeah.
I always think about it. My mom was very loving. Yeah. She was hard on me, but I knew she loved me.
Yeah.
My dad, he pushed me to do a lot of stuff.
Sure.
So I was like, where did I get this thing?
But did they compliment you? Like, did they say like, that's good, you should do more of it?
That's a great point.
Because I wrote a full ass musical, 75 minutes co-wrote in San Francisco. This is before I've written anything. I wrote it in a Google Doc because I didn't know script software existed.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything. I didn't know acts. I didn't know anything. Wrote a full musical, director, whatever. It was like bigger than I thought. 600 people per night, like sold out. My parents came to see it. And they said it was better than expected.
Wow. Whoa.
That was a compliment.
Shit. Yes.
Now, and then I sit here in therapy going, why don't I believe in myself? Whoa. I love my parents. I know they like really, they actually do think I like can do it. But like they'll never say that to my face. Yes. So it's like, I'm always like, why am I so self-conscious? Like, why do I think I can't take up space? And then I love my parents, but
whoa,
we're just like raised in a certain way. Welcome to therapy.
Wow. Whoa, I was here to blow your mind. You're here blowing my mind.
I'm going to blow your mind.
Damn. That was good. I never thought about that. Cause you're right. Whenever I got straight A's, which was all the time.
Yeah.
My parents would just be like,
Berkeley,
you're supposed to.
Yeah. Same.
You're supposed to. You're supposed to have a 4.0.
Yeah. If I got a 4.0, they go, nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Keep doing it.
Minimum. Yeah.
When I dyed my hair blonde, it was a little bit not blonde enough. And my mom said, nice, make it blonder next time. I was like, how can I possibly...
If you rebel, yeah, you got to rebel even harder.
How did I get feedback on my blonde hair not being blonde enough?
Yeah.
But then one time I had dinner with my white friend's parents, and I was blown away at how complimentary they were.
Yes, Asian parents are so complimentary.
No, not my Asian parents.
Oh,
they're white.
Oh, I see.
They're white parents to my friend. We were sitting and we were like, why did you decide to homeschool him? And he said, because he was too smart for regular school, and like he was excelling beyond everyone else. We had to make sure that he continued to excel. This is in front of him. Whoa. He was too smart for school. I was like, my parents have never told me I'm smart enough for anything.
No.
It was just wild. He's like, he's a special kid. He's gifted.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that we like treated him with that, like made sure that he like excelled. What the heck?
That's such an interesting and great point about the approach between Asian parents and white parents about as far as like scholarship goes.
Yes.
It's like, oh, he's so smart. He needs to be like out of school and like, do all this thing. For us, you could be like the smartest, best thing.
Right.
And that's just like, cool.
Yeah.
Great.
Are you number one in your class?
Are you number one? Yeah, exactly. That's if you're not number one, you're getting a lot of shit.
Exactly.
You're getting shit on.
Yes.
But if you're number one, then you get rewarded with sort of not shit on.
Yeah, that's the reward.
It's a negative reinforcement
Exactly.
situation.
They're not going to compliment you. They're just going to say, keep doing it.
Yes. Dude. Fuck. That's exactly right. And I translate that into everything I've ever done now with this podcast. Anything else you want to like kind of like touch upon? Because before we kind of close out, we're gonna try to close out the episodes by playing the Asian not Asian game. Mm-hmm. But I don't want you're the co-host, man. You know what else?
Wild.
What do you want to jab about?
A jab about? I don't know. I have there's a million topics that we could talk about. I won't shut up if you get me started about anything.
Please.
I don't know. I guess maybe the other thing is the other stuff, that the internet stuff.
Oh, yes.
I just want to get ahead of it.
Yes.
Because I exist on the internet, and
Yeah.
people might know me, but people also might not know me. And I just want to put it out there that yes, I do make TikToks and I do make Instagram stuff sometimes. And
yeah.
I don't know. It's like a very interesting thing to. I think that's probably, if anyone knows me, that's probably why they know me.
Do you have people saying hi to you and stuff?
So back when I was Platinum Blonde, which was a mere 6 months ago.
Right.
Also, I was churning out stuff more, and also I was just going more viral.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
I would get like really nice people would like come up and be like, I love your videos, keep going. And there's almost always women.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I think I cater mostly to women, and the women and the gays are generally my crowd.
Nice.
And so, yeah, I did. But now I have less material that I'm putting online, and I have natural hair again. So I don't think I get called out in the same way.
How come you're not putting out as much stuff?
I just have felt less funny.
Yes.
And I also used to have a friend who was unemployed who lived down the street
who would
help me film.
Yes.
And now she is unemployed and no longer living down the street, which is horrible.
Fucking selfish.
It's so selfish because my TikTok numbers have plummeted. But that's the only reason why.
Can I say that I love your TikToks?
Thank you.
And one thing that is different for you, and this is a very small subset of TikToks, you actually make jokes. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Most TikToks are, people don't really do this anymore, but there used to be a lot of TikToks where it was just like words would come up and they would point to it.
Yeah.
So that's just reading.
Right.
First of all, there would be other times. The one which I can never. I understand why they're funny, but I'm upset because I can never do it. Is when like there's a sound. There's one of the sounds.
Is it memes basically?
A meme sound. Yeah. Which for people who don't know, because you're over 20, means like a video will go viral-ish and it has a sound associated with it. Usually like the native sound to that video. Like sometimes it's like a baby crying or like somebody yelling at somebody else. And people will take that sound and kind of put it over something else, like either themselves like talking or whatever. And that's like the meme. Mm-hmm. That does really well. I can never do those.
Same. I can't.
And I get it. I'm not shitting. I'm kind of shitting on it, but whatever. That's TikTok. That's like internet culture. I get it. But you like actually make, like there's a concept, and then there's a turn, and there's a resolution, which is very unusual.
Yeah.
I think that like to come up with an actual bit, which I don't think people know what that is. People don't know what bits are.
Right.
I sound so old, but like you actually do that.
I do like traditional sketch comedy in a 1 minute TikTok.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
And do you feel like, man, because it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like, man, I should just do sounds?
No, because I don't know how to do memes. I've never made one meme in my life. Oh, I did do one joke meme version when like the one, when I ever talk about TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm like 4 people will be like, absolutely, I remember what that is. And then most people will be like, I don't know what you're talking about. But there was like one that was like, doon, 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 doon.
Yes.
And then like, it was like people ask me this. The real reality is this. It was like, I did one of those because I was like, only time I came up with an idea. But it was just that like the person who was questioning it was actually TikTok and they were trying to kill me. But like, that was the only time where I was like, oh, I figured out this format. I've never once figured out how to do sound meme stuff. I don't know how to do a visual. I'm bad at memes. Like when I see Young Me do memes, I'm like,
Young Me does so good.
What a star. She's so good at that.
Memes.
I can't do that. So I have to stick to traditional sketch comedy.
You said at the top of this, you said you want to get ahead of it. What do you mean by that? Like you want to get ahead of?
In case that like people are like, oh, she looks familiar.
Yeah.
Or like, who is this person?
Yeah.
It's like, I did internet stuff. It's always so odd when people are like, welcome TikToker or whatever. I'm like, I don't feel like a TikToker. I feel like I'm a sketch writer who ended up making stuff on the internet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do feel like being called a TikToker is sometimes an insult, but yeah.
I just don't relate to it because TikTokers to me are the people who do the sound meme stuff really well. Or like post every day, and I post like once a month.
Oh yeah, it's so hard. Are you? I feel because you're also, you're a woman on the internet.
Yeah.
Right. Do you feel like you need to get ahead of as far as like people like questioning, like, oh, are you funny enough? Whatever. Not even on this podcast, but just in general.
In general. Yeah. I think because I cater mostly to women, the women and the gays, they're very welcoming usually.
That's good.
I have realized that once any of my material reaches the straight man community, it gets
Yeah.
pummeled.
Yeah.
In a way where I'm like, this is why I don't do this for the men.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that in a weird way, because I made one about sci-fi.
The genre?
Yeah, because I don't like it.
Really?
I don't hate it, but I just think it's just not my vibe.
Sure.
Half the time I'm like, this is all made up. I can't follow the rules of this universe.
Yeah.
And so I kind of made something of that, and I was like, first it was like it picked up steam, and then once it hit like straight man sci-fi community, it was just you're just not understanding it. Like, have you thought about yeah.
Yes.
And I was like,
let me show you my samurai sword
this
collection.
was mostly about how I was bored during Dune, because I didn't watch it in theaters. I watched it on my couch.
I love Dune, by the way. Yeah.
I think it would have been fun in theaters, but watching it on my couch, a lot less fun.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like.
Were you high when you watched Dune?
No, I was.
It'll help.
Fully. I should have been high.
Be high.
I know. Why did I watch it sober? I'm usually high during every movie.
I love you do, and that's what I really like about you. You said you got really high and you watched Shrek. Is
yeah, of course. I've gotten high and watched Shrek multiple times.
That I knew right away. You were perfect for this podcast. Because Fumi would never do that.
Really? I gotta meet Fumi.
You gotta meet Fumi.
We're
you
gonna
haven't
be
met
enemies.
him. His name is actually Jane.
Yeah.
He's in the 7th
and
grade.
he should be calling me a senpai.
He should be calling you senpai. Yeah. Okay. So just like to close out that internet thing. Yes.
Yeah. Just that I exist there. You may have seen my face. You may have hate commented on it if I was making fun of sci-fi and you love sci-fi. Or maybe you're one of the Asian men who was on that one. Who was in my comments when I made a comment about the weird call out about Asian Americanness. Remember, like in that one movie? Last time I was on the podcast, I talked about how I made fun of this line that a white woman clearly wrote in, which is like, this guy's so hot. He's like smart.
Oh, yes.
And
yes.
he's
I
also
remember this.
Asian.
Yes.
And I was like, why did you have to call out that he's
yes,
Asian?
I remember this.
Weird to say.
He's Asian American. He said they
Asian
said it
American.
that way, yeah.
And so then I made a joke TikTok being like, wow, like he's calling him Asian American is actually really progressive of me to be attracted to that. Like it was just like a joke, making fun of the white people,
right? Commenting
on it, and then I got weirdly a lot of Asian men,
yes,
in my comments saying that I was taking the spotlight away from them.
Taking away the spotlight away from Asian American men.
Yeah, he's like another Asian American woman taking the spotlight away from Asian American
Woo!
men. And I was like, so if you're one of those people, it's me. I made that TikTok.
now she's my co-host.
And now co-hosting this.
So I was on your own TikTok. It wasn't like one of our. It wasn't like from you talking on that episode about that.
That happened before I was on the episode.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just letting people know that might be me.
I like to think that our fans are the best of the internet.
I would like to think so too.
Fortunately, again, I think our fans are not like that. We're kind of like insulated from that because our fans are dope. But I'm glad you're on here. I want to close out the episode with playing the Asian Not Asian game.
Yes.
I'll go first. Anesthesia.
Oh.
Asian or not Asian?
Anesthesia.
Anesthesia.
Not Asian.
Yes. How come?
Because in my mind, I feel like Asian medicine, I don't know about you, but I grew up never taking like American medicines, like Dayquil, NyQuil, like anything like that. It was always like, take this like Japanese herbal thing.
Yeah.
And so I feel like anesthesia is like exactly the thing that's like, it's like NyQuil, but to the nth degree. And so it feels like very not Asian. Also, weirdly, it's like that thing could hurt you even more if you're numbed to it.
Yes. Oh.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, you need to feel the things to make sure you're like, you can like measure whatever. Like, it's like you need to be in touch with your body. Like, that feels very Asian to me.
It does feel like Asian medicine isn't so much about like taking the pain away. It's just making you more focused so that you could deal with the pain more. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Or it's like enough numbness, but not too numb.
Not too numb. Yeah. Tiger Balm.
Yeah.
Just enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
What do you think?
I agree with you. I remember my mom was a nurse.
Yeah.
Is a nurse. So she was cool with a lot of Western stuff, but she would always do like these other things. I remember she did this thing and I could never figure it out if it was Asian or not. Mm-hmm. It's kind of both. If one of us bumped our heads, like me and my sisters bumped our heads on the ground.
Yeah.
Or on something, we'd have a big welt.
Yeah.
My mom would heat up a knife, not hot, but really warm.
Yeah.
And then she would place the knife on the bump.
What?
Yeah. I think what's happening is she's trying to she's heating it up so she can kind of address the swelling.
Oh.
But the fact of her heating the knife up
yeah.
on the stove
Yeah.
in my mind was like, she's gonna cut us,
Yeah.
or something.
Totally, it's like a threat.
Yeah, and I always remember it did make us feel better,
Right.
But it was like this combination of like Western thinking of like, I need to like put a hot compress on
Right.
this. With Asian, I'm going to use a fucking knife.
Yeah. There's no solution other than a knife.
No, we can't. No. Should I heat up some water?
Yeah,
Nah.
Go straight for the kitchen knife, baby.
Kitchen knife on the hot
Yeah.
stove. Like she was going to
so
amputate
funny.
a limb.
Yeah. This is the only solution.
Okay, that was good.
Okay. I have one. Shrek.
Oh, shit. Shit. I'm going to say it's not Asian.
Okay. Why?
I'm going to say it's not Asian because it is a irreverent take on a classic.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel, because it's like a lot of the Shrek humor comes from like playing off of Disney tropes,
That's true. Yes.
And I feel, not that Disney's Asian, but I feel Asian people would be like, you don't mess around with the classics.
Yeah.
You tell the story the way the grandpa told the story.
Yeah.
Or the way that the Mandarin in your village told you the story.
Right.
You learn the classics. You take the civil service exam.
Yeah.
Exactly how it is.
Yeah.
And you pass it on. And you don't do like the irreverent take.
Right. Like a new spin on it.
Don't do the new spin.
Right.
Don't do the critique on it. Just tell me the story.
Totally. I can
That's
see
what
that.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I would also say not Asian, but here I was just thinking about it. It's because Shrek is ugly. like Asian people would be like a hot girl and a ugly man. No, that man better be beautiful.
Wow.
Like,
wow.
we can't have that thing kiss that thing.
Yeah.
That's not right.
But she becomes ugly later on.
That's true. But
that's also not Asian. I
yeah,
feel.
exactly. Like they're like, they should be two beautiful people falling in love. I cannot watch an ugly person fall in love.
Can I say that is true? Like I feel like my mom was always like so not superficial, but she always told me she hated when old people drove convertibles.
Yeah.
Because she was like, I don't want to see old people in a convertible. They're ugly. If you drive a convertible, you have to be young and beautiful.
Yes.
And I always think about that.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh my God, I can't. Yeah. Yes.
Asian people only. In general, the culture only celebrates beautiful people.
Yes.
Most of the actors in Japan are just hot people that were scattered on the streets.
So beautiful.
Not good at acting.
No, that's so bad.
But so beautiful.
That was a great one. Okay, how about this one? Slapping a comedian.
We're back to the slap.
We're gonna do it. This is our version of it.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
our version of the hot take.
Yeah.
Is
Okay,
that
I
Asian or
think.
not?
Well, first of all, I would say, in the setting that it was done.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about this specific slap.
Sure.
Not Asian.
Yes. Why?
Because I think, like, and maybe I'm thinking Japanese, but like I think
okay,
that
too.
like doing it in public like that, in a way that you're showing your emotions so openly to the public like that, that's not cool.
Not cool.
You gotta repress that.
You repress that.
Yeah, you don't slap right there. Now, if it was behind closed doors, in a tense moment where everything kind of explodes after like a quiet conversation like this, and then everything heightens, and then they slap.
Yeah.
That's Asian.
Or maybe in Parliament.
Yeah, or in Parliament. But in a awards show setting where the public is watching
Public is watching.
not Asian. That's my take on that.
I agree with you. I would agree with you, and I will take it. It's not Asian because Asian people don't go to award shows. Boom. Boom.
I was like, the whole time I was watching, I was like, what is the Drive My Car people at the Oscars thinking right now?
What's Drive My Car?
It's like the Japanese movie. So like they won like best.
Oh,
but like
yeah.
so all this little pocket of Asian people, not Asian American, Asian people are there watching this happen, not understanding the language. And then
all of a
beloved
sudden,
Will Smith, who's huge in Japan,
They must,
goes and does this thing, and they're just like, I want to watch a camera of their reactions, like where they just like, huh, like, you know what I mean?
There's
like,
gotta
how
be that tape
confusing
somewhere.
was it?
That's got to be so weird.
I want to see that. Like
They
that
must have
reaction.
a translator who's like
The translator's probably
translating.
just like, and then he said, don't
Don't
take my
put
wife's
that
fucking name out of her mouth.
But saying it in a very calm
Yeah,
voice.
like,
Just,
yeah.
"No, don't say
And then
that."
she said,
Did you
with
say
like a
that?
pen and paper.
Exactly. Wow, that's good. Hey, well, that was the Asian Not Asian game. This is the first episode. I hope you had fun. A different energy.
Yeah, for sure, it's a different energy.
We haven't said anal once.
I know.
We haven't gotten you to say it.
I haven't even said it, and I won't.
But I'm having a lot of fun. Are you having a lot of fun?
I'm having a lot of fun, too.
I love podcasting. You were saying before, as we were starting to record, that you love talking.
I love talking.
You love talking.
I talk so much. I won't stop.
I love talking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is. I don't know. I feel like I don't know if this is true. I feel Asian people, we generally don't talk as much.
Yeah.
As on average. That's a very big generalization, but I love talking.
Me too.
And so I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. This is good. It's gonna be, we're gonna have guests. We're gonna. One of the things I wanted was to have the episodes be tighter. I don't think that's going to happen because we just love talking too much.
I know. I was like, this was not tight.
No, not at all. But that's okay. Maybe some of the later ones will be. Once we have some guests on and stuff like that, I did want to do this thing where we're not like getting to know them. Fuck that. Let's get to the is Shrek Asian or not? Okay,
right.
Let's
get into the meat.
So this has been the first episode of season 1. You can find me on Instagram at nicepantsbro. You can also find me on TikTok. I don't know how. I really don't. It seems hard to share information outside of TikTok, but you can find me. I think it's Nice Pants TikTok is my name on TikTok. But yeah, how about you, Jenny?
You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter at Jenny Arimoto.
That's some good SEO right there.
Yeah.
You can check out the podcast. It's at Asian Not Asian Pod on Instagram, and you can go check out our next Hack City. I don't know if this will be out by then. The next one's May 8th, but basically, just Google Hack City Comedy, and we're there every month. You should come by. You should hang.
I know. I should.
You've never done stand up.
No, I won't do it.
You can do a hosting set with me.
I'll do that. I'm a little bit.
Okay.
I usually drink 2 glasses of wine and then I start talking.
Do you?
That's really what I
That's
do. Because I get nervous.
Do you?
Yeah. I don't think that's my strength, but maybe I'll make it my strength.
But you don't drink before an improv set.
No.
You're sober, completely sober.
Yeah, because I feel more confident in that than my hosting abilities.
No, you're gonna be great. You're gonna be great. Check us out at Hack City. Keep following us. And until then, see you later.
Goodbye.
Bye.